Hello and welcome to 90.5 WASU YouTube coverage of App State women's basketball versus Southern Miss. I'm today's play-by-play, Dane Maggard, and here with
Will Battershell.
Heck yeah, it's going to be a great day today. We have some great, intense basketball today, as you know, the same lineups for App State, but a very tough scoring team for Southern Miss. Southern Miss's every single recent games are in the 90s or in the 80s. As App State, most of their games are in the 50s, 60s, 70s area. What is that disadvantage of App State, and what do they need to do to decrease the scoring differential here?
I wouldn't really call it a disadvantage, Dane. It's more of just App State's defense has been so good and App State plays so fast. It's hard to score a lot of those points just because it's so back and forth between both teams. So if I'm App State, the one thing I'm looking to do is slow down that Southern Miss offense, because the one weakness on this Southern Miss team is their defense. So if you slow down that offense, limit their points like they did Marshall last Saturday, then they have a shot to win.
How important is App State's rough defense, like players like Emma Smith and Jada Burton on the side of defense, and how important is their performance today going to be for a hopeful App State win?
Defense is going to be huge. It's strength versus strength. It's the offense of Southern Miss versus the defense of App State. And one person I really have my eye on coming off the bench today will be Addie Beal. She's played a lot bigger role in this Homestead so far, and I look for her to be a menace in the paint. She's going to go physical on the shots up. She's going to go physical on the blocks.
And as we were talking about before, the Sun Belt Women's Basketball Player of the Week is number 3, Southern Miss's very own Jakayla Johnson, coming off of a week where she is named literally the Conference Player of the Week. Do you think App State does have a plan to just get her stop, or just has a team in whole?
I expect to see a lot of Emma Smith on Jakayla Johnson today, because Emma Smith is our hardest defender. She is very rough, and I mean, she's not afraid to foul. She has fouled or been close to fouling out multiple times. So I expect that to be a fantastic matchup to watch, if not the matchup to watch today.
And as the matchups for each team, we'll do the starting lineups first. Southern Miss. For Southern Miss, like we said, number 3, Sun Belt Player of the Week, Jakayla Johnson. She averages 13 points per game, about 2 assists. Then Melanie Thames, about 12 points per game. Then Carly Keats, backed by Haley Breland and Sakaya White at the center. And so speaking of Sakaya White, she is mostly going to be known as the center for today, but off the bench, Southern Miss has 2 huge centers, 6'5" and 6'3" off the bench. Do you think they're going to use that to their advantage today?
Well, looking at how much both of those two have played this year, Tamaya Thurman has only played about 10 games, averaging about 7 minutes per game. 3 minutes in their last game that they played against Troy. And then Whitney Hart is averaging, has played in 11 games, averaging about that 7-minute mark also, but also only played 3 minutes versus Troy. So I expect to see a lot of Sakaya White, and that's about it. I mean, the 14 rebounds last game versus Troy pretty much says it all.
And for App State starting lineup, as always, number 0, Emma Smith. The white girl Dennis Rodman is what I'd like to say. And Emma Smith averages about 8.6 points per game. And as a woman who is 5'7", a little under than the average height in women's basketball, averages 6 rebounds a game, leading the entire team in rebounds per game. And about 4 assists, doing it all. Then Jaden McBride, about 10 points per game also. Backed by Deja Mitchell, who is the leading points per game scorer for this App State squad at 11.3. Backed by Emily Hagee, the experienced senior here for App State, the veteran. Then the newest addition of this year, Ferial Defina Atla, averaging 6 points per game, about 4 rebounds per game, as she has been this new addition to this team and just rising to the stage. But as the team start to get on, as the tip-off will start at any minute now. But who do you see off the bench for Southern Miss making a difference here, Will?
Off of the bench, they have a lot of good players that play a lot of minutes off the bench. They're kind of have a similar play style like App State, where they'll rotate 5 or 6 players off the bench and have completely fresh lineups in the game. But one of the people I do have my eye on that played 25 minutes versus Troy was Bracayla Gray. She 25 minutes, 4 for 4 from the field. So she will be able to play a big impact. 3 assists, 3 rebounds. So I'm looking at her as the 6th woman off the bench.
And the game will start as Deja Mitchell will be one at the tip-off. And App State wins as Emma Smith gets it at the top of the key. Pass it to Atla. Goes to Heggie. Heggie passes it to Smith at the top of the key. Swings it to Heggie. Pump fakes it, but decides to dribble it out. Goes to the top of the key. Goes to Deja. Goes in the corner with Emma Smith trying to figure out who is open. Tight defense by Southern Miss. Deja Mitchell at the top of the key. Trying to find Atla in the paint, but the defense is too much. And that will be, and they'll say it tips it off. And Deja Mitchell will shoot it at the last second at the shot clock. But Southern Miss was trying to argue that it was over and back, but it will be a shot clock overturn anyway. And Southern Miss has the ball here.
Yeah, we've seen App State a lot of the times in the last couple games really drain that play clock all the way down to 1 or 2 before they take the shots.
Johnson has the ball. Pass it to Thames. Carly Keats has the ball, top of the key. Pass it to Johnson. Goes into the paint for Haley Brayland. Shoots the mid-range, and Heggie gets the rebound. Pass it to Emma Smith. Closely guarded by Johnson. Pass it to Heggie. Goes to Smith. Just staying in place, trying to figure out who's open. Drives into the middle, gets double-teamed. Passes it to Mitchell at the top of the key. Finds McBride in the paint. McBride shoots the mid-range, and it's good. First points for App State, making it 2-0, 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
And that's what App State has to do all game. They have to play fast and move around a lot because this man-to-man defense by Southern is going to be hard to beat.
And Jakayla Johnson finds the open 3. And Heggie passes it to Smith with the tight full-court defense. Goes to McBride. Finally gets it across the half-court line. Finally just get some sense in, collect everything together. McBride is in the corner, passed it to Deja Mitchell, and Southern Miss tips it out of bounds for a defensive effort, but it will remain App State ball.
Yeah, that ball went out on Sakaya White. Tried to make the good defensive play, and it bounces off her right hand and out of bounds.
And inbounding the ball, Emily Heggie. Passes it to Smith. Bounce passes it. Smith goes to mid-range, finds McBride in the 3, and it's good. 3 for McBride. McBride has 5 of the App State points, making it 5-3 with 8 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and Jaden McBride is going to be that one that you're looking to shoot from beyond the arc.
And Carly Keats shot an interesting shot. Very wide from 3, but air kind of gets the backboard, not really much of rim. And Emily Heggie tries to call the foul, but no foul is called. And Southern Miss has the ball. Timms drives in the paint, guarded by McBride. McBride, very tough, makes her lose possession, passes it out. Breland at the top of the key, driving in. Emma Smith being guarded and tight defense by Emma Smith. Emily Heggie with another defensive rebound. Heggie, top of the key, screen off Atla. Atla goes in the mid-range, goes to Mitchell. Trying to find Atla, who's in the corner, but decides to go to Emma Smith. Emma Smith is in the corner, tries to drive in the middle, but tries to pass it back out. Emily Heggie from 3, and it's good, making it 8-3. App State starting off pretty strong from offense.
Yeah, and App State has kind of been lackluster on these 3s as of late, so it's good to see them already start off 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
Thames, top of the key, pass it to Jakayla Johnson. Goes off the screen, tries to go off the mid-range, but last second goes to Breland. Breland from 3, and it's good from Breland. And Breland kind of looks back at that App State bench there.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of 3 attempts in this game, and I mean, as expected, good offense but bad defense from Southern, and App State's going to try to take advantage of it now.
And Emma Smith cutting in the paint, 5'7", around Giants, but still scores in the paint. First points on the board for Emma Smith. Carly Keats for Southern Miss goes. Passes it to Thames at the top of the key. Guarded by Mitchell tightly. Goes to Johnson. Tightly guarded by Emma Smith, as you were saying before. Tight defense by Smith, but even tougher offense in the mid-range by Johnson.
Yeah.
Emma Smith has the ball. Sorry to cut you off there, Will.
Johnson is the player of the week in the Sun Belt for a reason. Through the contact, forces Emma Smith back a little and just drops it in.
And the full court defense from Southern Miss has taken a toll as Emma Smith tries to pass it to Atla, but Atla just can't find it and goes out of bounds. But a couple substitutions, as you said, as the kind of sixth man, Addie Beal and Elena Pericic. Pericic has been a veteran for this App State team. One of the few players that stayed for years upon years. In Southern Miss, Breland has taken the ball up, passes it to Thames. Gray subs in for Southern Miss. Pass it to White. White shoots it across the court to Thames for the three, and Thames does not get it, and Addie Beal will get the rebound. Emma Smith having the ball up. Very tight defense by Gray for Southern Miss. Issa Roman for App State is subs in the game. Jalen McBride passes the ball to Emma Smith, goes to Pericic in the corner. Air balls, but Issa Roman gets the rebound. Emma Smith from three, and it's good, drained. Emma Smith staying humble.
Yeah, and Dane, Southern Miss is 12th in opponent three percentage, so App State saw that in the study and already 3 for 3 from that three mark.
It is 13-8, about 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Breland has the ball, top of the key, shoots the mid-range, and it's good, drains it. And that'll make it 13-10, 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Emma Smith takes the ball up, finds Issa. Issa Roman almost being triple teamed. Goes to McBride, goes to Pericic in the three, finds Issa Roman open in the three, and it's good. Another three-pointer for App State. 16-10, and timeout for Southern Miss.
Yeah, Dane, like I was saying, so Southern Miss is 4th in the Sun Belt in three-point percentage, but they are bottom 4 in 3 points allowed, and we're seeing that early from App State as they're taking advantage from beyond the arc. The man defense is a little softer, so they're getting these wide open players, and I mean, 4 for 5 from three already. This is unseen from App State.
Exactly, and at the field goals doing 6 for 7, about an 85% from the field goal range. And right now for App State, who's making the biggest difference that you've seen, or a player that you've been surprised by?
I think the two people that we needed to play the best are playing the best right now, and that's Emma Smith and Jada McBride, because they have just been able to click on a different level. And we see Emma Smith. Emma Smith is like a facilitator of sorts. She can shoot the threes, she can pass out for the assist, she can get the rebound. She can do a little bit of everything. And we're seeing that already. 2 for 2 from the field, 5 points, 2 assists. So Emma Smith is going to be the one that App State really leans on today to try to get this win.
And for Southern Miss, they haven't really had a singular facilitator that I've noticed in the offense. It's kind of been a different players left and right taking the ball up. But one player that's taken the ball up that I'm surprised by is Haley Breland. As Haley Breland is kind of in the, she's a guard, but she kind of doesn't have that much of a facilitator and three-point range like most guards do.
Yeah, Haley Breland, though, is one of the people that does shoot the ball the most on this Southern Miss team. Last game alone, shot the ball 14 times, only having 5 fall. But you will see her, we will be calling her Breland's name a lot, and we'll be also calling Jacayla Johnson's name a lot. Both of the only scorers for this team right now at 5 apiece. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how App State can limit these threes, because we've seen 2 threes fall for Southern Miss, and then how they can continue making these threes, because they're off to a record pace already with 3 points made.
And with the timeout being immediate timeout, taking longer than I thought it would, to be honest, but it is still 16-10. The leading scorers right now for Southern Miss is 5 points from Jacayla Johnson and also Haley Breland. And that is the total of the 10 from Southern Miss. We've had a couple of about 3 missed shots from 3, from actually 2. One of them being from, I'm trying to find the name. Sorry, Carly Keats, which was almost basically a half-court shot, which he just decided to chuck it. But weird shot. Trying to find the name for it. I'm stuttering right here. My bad.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out, Dane, is how good App State's looked. We talked about the intensity that they play at the beginning of the show, and we see that already. They're up and down the court in a snap of a finger. They're moving around as much as possible. Their main goal, wear down this Southern Miss Eagles offense and defense, because that is the only way you'll be able to beat them.
And subbing in the game for Southern Miss is Morgan Sieper as App State gets the steal from Deja Mitchell. Deja Mitchell at the top of the key, closely guarded by Gray. Cuts in the paint, passes it out back to Emma Smith. Emma Smith trying to find her open options. He finds Roman. Roman passes it to Mitchell at the top of the key. Mitchell drives in the paint, loses the ball, and they'll say is that an out of bounds or a reach in? I believe that is an out of bounds, and it'll go back to App State ball as they're fighting over the ball, and it looks like a Southern Miss player stepped out of bounds while fighting for the ball and touched it. And Emma Smith will inbound the ball. Finds Mitchell in the corner. Mitchell comes off the corner of the screen from Pericic. Finds Emma Smith in the mid-range. Shot clock expires. The mid-range goes in and out. And that's a rebound for Southern Miss.
Yeah, it just rattles out. Great shot selection, just couldn't make it fall.
Sieper tries to shoot the three, and oh no, that's not what we like to see. That is bad. Fighting over a rebound and a couple twisted legs, and we need to call a timeout as a Southern Miss player is down. Unfortunate. I saw that right as that happened.
Yeah,
they were fighting for a rebound, and they were on the ground, and their legs twisted together.
It looks like that would be Sakeo White that is down. And, yeah, it just kind of got jumbled up on the rebound, immediately fell down and grabbed the knee. We don't want to speculate, but it does not look good.
And Sakeo White is a very important part to this team, so this will be a detrimental loss for Southern Miss. And we're hoping that she is recovering well, as Sakeo White is in a grad year. So hopefully this is not the end of her season here, as Sakeo White in her last game, 5 for 7, 14 rebounds. A very important player for this Southern Miss. Assuming that she's out for the rest of the game, which we do not want to hear at all. Broken? Oh. We at WAC are going to go to a break, as hopefully this injury is not too fatal for Sakeo White for Southern Miss, as the score is 16-10 still with 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. Thank you for joining, and stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned to 90.5 WASU. We came back from an injury coming from number 22 starter from Southern Miss, Sakeo White, who looks like will not be playing for the rest of the game. And hopeful that she is better. But as we start back up, Southern Miss does have the ball. Breland has the ball at the half court, a logo of App State. Pass it to Thames. Pass it to Gray at the top of the key. And we have a push in. We have a push called on Deja Mitchell. And it'll stay Southern Miss ball. And McBride will sub in the game for Mitchell.
Yeah, and Dane, with Sakeo White hurt now, we're going to see a lot more of Tamaya Thurman and Whitney Hart.
Exactly. That's, as we said before, they have a huge height difference for App State. And that's a steal And great defensive pressure from Emma Smith. Emma Smith grabs the ball, almost a steal, and unfortunately goes out of bounds, but we love to see that defensive effort from App State.
Yeah, that was a great job by Thames to kind of carry her use Smith's momentum against her and carry her out of bounds to get the ball back for Southern.
And Breland guarded by Smith. Comes off the screen from Hart. Tries to go for the foul bait, but doesn't get it. Closely guarded by Addie Beal. Heggie has the ball. Passes it to Emma Smith, who's at the top of the key. Closely guarded by Thames. Emma Smith, still closely guarded by Thames. Passes it to Heggie. Heggie trying to communicate to her team to get open. Finds Addie Beal at the three-point line. Passes it to Pericic at the wing. The shot clock is coming out. Addie Beal at the mid-range. Goes up. Tries to get the foul and get some post moves going. It's no good. Southern Miss gets the rebound. Southern Miss has the ball. Hart in the mid-range. It's no good. Rebound by McBride. Goes to Heggie. Heggie gets the ball up. Double teamed. Tries to find McBride at top of the key. She does. Goes back out to Emma Smith. Goes to Pericic. In the corner. Goes to Heggie. Smith in the mid-range, trying to find an open McBride, and it will be a Southern Miss close steal, an interception by Southern Miss, if you could say, and they step out of bounds.
Yeah, and on that last Southern Miss offensive possession, you mentioned that Breland tried to draw the foul on Addie Beal, but Addie Beal does exactly what you're supposed to do as the defender. Plants your feet and just stands there.
And both teams struggling to score here, as both teams have gone over 2.5 minutes of not scoring a basket. It is still 16-10 with 1:45 seconds remaining, as Jacayla Johnson is back in the game, gets the ball up. Carly Keats is also back in the game for Southern Miss. Keats is just letting everything collect, everybody gather themselves, passes it to Gray. Gray comes off the screen of Jacayla Johnson, goes to the mid-range, and gets it down.
That's a great shot by Gray, just going over Addie Beal, over her fingertips and dropping it right in, right under the basket.
And Emma Smith passes it to Beal. Beal passes it back to Smith, finally gets across the half-court line. 1:10 remaining, 16-12, App State leads by 4. Pericic passes it to Beal. Beal hands it off to Smith, who comes off the screen. Smith loses the ball. Heggie remains it. Shot clock is counting down. Heggie gets some post moves going, and it's no good. And Southern Miss gets the defensive rebound, and Emma Smith intercepts the ball, but again goes out of bounds. And it'll be Southern Miss ball.
And we're seeing this App State offense and defense going as fast as possible there, but then also playing slow in a way as they're draining the shot clock, but also just constant movement on the court.
And Carly Keats has the ball. She has a little bit of a confused face on her look as she just passes it out to Thames. Thames, mid-range step back, and it's good. We've seen a lot of mid-range balls coming from Southern Miss. And App State has the ball, full court press. Issa Roman needs to dribble the ball down the court. McBride has the ball, gets it across half court. McBride passes it to Heggie. Heggie trying to find open, and Pericic, very definite outlet, tries to pass it to Pericic, who is trying to find the ball in the paint, and it's no good. It goes out of bounds. App State has gone 4 minutes without scoring a basket, and they're 0 for their last 4. Yeah, that's 16-14 here.
That's a great play setup, just a little bit too far by Deffy, and it was just out of Pericic's reach, because if Pericic gets that ball, she's wide open under the basket.
The Southern Miss gets the ball. Jacayla Johnson finds Breland. Breland trying to cuts in the paint, and they will call a foul on Defina Atla. And that will shoot 2 for Breland. And Breland has yet to score. Actually, no, never mind. She has scored. I'm looking at the wrong 23. My bad. And Breland has scored 5 points in this game. And we'll shoot 2 here. And McBride will sub in the game for Jada Burton and Pericic. And Addie Beal, App State in the game. Emma Smith also subs back in the game. The backcourt. It's up, and the first one is good for Breland. It makes her 6 on the night, and another one to tie it up.
Breland is shooting almost 80% from the free throw line, so a very consistent shooter from the charity stripe.
And that's second. 2 for 2, good from the free throw line. Smith passed it to McBride. Last seconds, and that's a last second 3 from McBride. McBride, not even a reaction, just walking back straight face back to the bench. The game is tied up after the both free throws. Chucks it down the court. McBride shoots it. 3, 2, 1, and it's in.
Yeah, and what a way to end that 4.5-minute scoring streak by McBride. Just drives down the court as quick as possible with time expiring, gets the open look, and just drains it.
McBride is doing great today. 8 points, 3 for 3 field goal, and 2 for 2 at the 3. She has 1 rebound, 1 assist in her 9 minutes. 8 points in 9 minutes. I call that efficient, Will.
Yeah, and this App State team with the lead in the first quarter. We've seen multiple times this year, though, where they have had the lead in the first quarter, and the middle 2 quarters, the second and third, is where the rails fall off the tracks. So the main thing they have to do now is keep that train going and try to keep slowing down the Southern Miss offense.
And with Southern Miss, their loss of Jakaya White, you talked about it a little, but how important is Tamia Thurman's performance if she's going to be in the game, or Hart?
I feel like we're going to see a little bit more of the redshirt freshman Whitney Hart because she's already been in the game since the injury, so I expect to see a lot more of her. But we could see a mixed rotation of them, and with Tamia Thurman being 6'5" in the paint, that could cause a little bit of trouble for App State since it's a little bit of a height disadvantage.
And we will go to a little bit of a break here on 90.5 WASU. Stay tuned as the timeout will end very shortly as the second quarter will start shortly. 19-16, App State leads by 3. I'm Dane Maggard. Stay tuned. Welcome back to App State versus Southern Miss 90.5 WASU YouTube coverage of App State women's basketball. It is 19-16. App State leads by 3. The start of the second quarter will start at any minute now. On the court for App State, number 0, Emma Smith. Number 3, Issa Roman. Number 24, Deja Mitchell. Number 17, Furiel Defina Atla. Number 2, Jada McBride. As Southern Miss has the ball, having the ball right now, Haley Breland for Southern Miss, who's the leading scorer for Southern Miss right now. Jakayla Johnson passes it back out to Keats. Pump fakes the 3, passes it back out to Johnson, closely guarded by McBride. Haley Breland shoots the 3, and it's no good. And it looks like it'll be a foul on Southern Miss's 20. And that is Jariah Evans. And that'll be her and Deja Mitchell were fighting over the rebound and seems to be on a foul there. And Emma Smith tries to find the ball, needs to have the ball to the half-court line, or else a penalty will be called any second now. Issa Roman has the ball. Pass it to Smith.
Yeah, and Jemiah Evans, the one that just fouled that last play, we'll probably see a lot more of her, too, being another one of the forwards on this Southern Miss team.
Mitchell tries to pass to McBride in the paint, and it's good for McBride. Mitchell with the elite court accuracy. And having the ball right now for Southern Miss, Thames. Passes it to Breland. Finds it for Whitney Hall. Passes it back out as no luck from Atla. Johnson has the ball for Southern Miss. Behind the back dribble, mid-range, no good, but rebound from Whitney Hall. Pass it back out, and Emma Smith tips it with her foot, but no call. And Deja Mitchell gets the defensive rebound, rushes towards trying to get a fast break, but passes out, and Southern Miss stops the fast break. Mitchell goes to Defina Atla. Passes it to Emma Smith, and it'll be a jump ball as Atla tries to pass it to Smith, and Smith just collapsed.
Yeah, and Whitney Hart on offense with that offensive rebound couldn't get it back up. And so we're already seeing her a little bit taller on the court and playing a big difference on these offensive rebounds.
And App State will continue to have the ball, and Issa Rahman will be subbed out by Emily Hagee. As we will have the original starting lineup back in for App State. Atla has the ball, hands it off to Smith. Smith shoots the corner three, and it's no good. Jalen McBride gets the tip off from a Southern Miss rebound. Southern Miss had the rebound, and Jalen McBride just kind of took it and puts it back up. Great awareness, 23-16.
Yeah, and Southern Miss is really bad at letting their opponents get these rebounds. So we see it right there where App State gets the offensive rebound and puts it right back up. We're probably going to see a lot of that today with just how not great of a job that Southern Miss is on getting those rebounds defensively.
And speaking of defense, Deja Mitchell tipped it off and right to me as went out of bounds, and Southern Miss continue to have the ball. Carly Keats drives in the paint, finds no luck, guarded by Emma Smith. Passes it back out to Johnson at the top of the key. Passes to Haley Breland. Breland drives in, trying to find anything, and it'll be a foul on McBride, and that'll be an and one. One shot will be shot by Haley Breland, as Breland will have the opportunity to get her double-digit points. And that foul will be on number 2, Jaden McBride.
Yeah, and you mentioned Breland going for the and one here. 2 for 2 already from the free throw. And kind of the main engine behind this Southern Miss team right now with the 9 points, possibly 10.
And the shot for Breland is up. And it's good. Heggie has the ball. Trying to go up with the full court defense. Tips it from Heggie. Recovers the ball. Smith passes it to Pericic. Pericic bounce passes it. And Southern Miss, great defense as Heggie tries to bounce pass it to Atla, who is somewhat open in the paint. But tip out from looks like number 8, Melanie Thames.
I believe it was Breland that was flying down the court that got a hand on it just in time to save a free bucket for the Mountaineers.
And we will see a substitution here as Whitney Hart will be subbed out by 6'5" junior Tamia Thurman. And Heggie trying to inbound the ball to Smith. 3 from Smith. It was in and out. And it'll stay right here as we have a box out foul by the looks of it from Thames. As Mitchell was trying to get the rebound, and Thames looked like to have been boxing out in the back. And that will be a foul. And inbounding the ball, Heggie once again, trying to find Emma Smith, and she does. Gets out to Heggie for the corner 3, and it's no good. Mitchell gets that rebound. Gets it back out to Heggie for the second chance points. It goes to Pericic. Layup, and that's good from Pericic. Pericic's first points of the night. And Thames has the ball. Pass it to Keats. Keats shoots the 3, but it's blocked by Mitchell. Thurman gets the rebound and goes up with it, and it's no good. Rebound by Pericic. Unfortunate miss from 6'5" Thurman there.
Yeah, and Thurman's just bigger than everybody in the paint. Kind of bullies her way in, but can't get the shot to fall.
Emma Smith trying to back her opponent down, but can't succeed. Backs out to Mitchell, pump fakes the 3. Heggie tries to find Atla in the paint, and trying to figure out where that foul is, but it's not called. And Carly Keats has the ball for Southern Miss. Pass it back to Jacayla Johnson. Johnson has the 2. Rebound by Thurman, but loses it. Found by Atla. Passes it to Heggie. Heggie just trying to not rush things. Stays behind and waits patiently for her team to get in position. Off the screen from Atla. Heggie drives in the paint. And that will be a turnover, as that will be an illegal screen from Ferial Defina Atla.
Yeah, and I saw that call coming from a mile away, Dane, because Ferial Defina Atla kind of moved her left foot as she went to set the screen for a second time, and that's going to get called every single time.
And as Defina Atla gets the foul, as she will be subbed in by Addie Beal. Addie Beal is in the game along with Jada McBride, who subbed out Deja Mitchell. Carly Keats has the ball at the top of the key, finds Sieper, and it's no good from Sieper. And they'll say that Southern Miss tipped the ball out of bounds on a fight for a rebound, and it'll be App State ball. Addie Beal passes the ball to Emma Smith to inbound the ball. Finds McBride open. McBride waiting for her team. Finds Heggie. Passes it to Pericic. Pericic drives in the paint, but goes back out, and it gets intercepted by Southern Miss. And Gray shoots the layup, and it's good, making it 25-21 for Southern Miss.
And that was a great job by Morgan Sieper to get her hand up and deflect it to her teammate for Southern Miss to get that breakaway point.
Emily Heggie has the ball. Comes off the screen for McBride. McBride, top of the key from 3. Pericic in the corner. Decides not to shoot the 3 and goes back out to Smith from 3. And no good. In and out from Smith.
Yeah, just a little long from Smith there. Hits it off the back iron and can't find it to fall.
And Jada McBride gets the steal. It's wide open, and it's in. Fast break points from Jada McBride. The steal and the 2. 27-21, 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Southern Miss shoots the 3, and it's no good. Defensive rebound by Smith. Smith finds McBride. Passes it to Heggie at the top of the key. Finds Addie Beal in the mid-range. Little post move, and it's in for an and one. Addie Beal shrugs it off and goes to the free throw line.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about from Addie Beal at the top of the show, is that she is just going to be so physical in the paint. And we see her duck under Thurman and just a nice little layup and the and one.
We love to see those post moves. Pump fakes, goes under, lay. And we will go to a quick break, but stay tuned on 90.5 WASU as App State is leading by 8, 29-21 with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Stay tuned. Welcome back to WASU YouTube coverage of App State women's basketball versus Southern Miss, as App State is leading by 8, 29-21, and App State men's basketball is playing right now in the wretched town of Conway, South Carolina. And App State men's basketball is leading 32-19. As the leading scorer is, of course, Kaysen Jennings, backed by Michael Marcus Jr. with 8 points. And we hope the men's basketball gets a W, as we do at App State. But App State's Addie Beal had an and one before the timeout, and will have a chance to get that and one.
Yeah, and men's basketball will be here in 5 days, Dane, on 90.5 WASU, with myself and Nick Nord calling it against JMU. So it's fixing to be a good one in 5 days.
Heck yeah. And Southern Miss has the ball. Augerson in the game. Gray passes it to Breland. Breland at the top of the key. Kind of ISOing right now. Pass it to Thames. Thames tries to go in the paint, but Mitchell not allowing that to happen. But circles around for the layup. And Issa Roman has the ball. Pass it to Heggie. Heggie drives in the paint. Gets a chance for everyone to collect their thoughts. Chills out for a second. Pass it to McBride. Shot clock expiring. Roman passes it out to Heggie from 3. Heggie pump fakes and shoots the mid-range, and that's a drain.
That's a great move by Heggie. Hits the hezzy to the left, a shot into the right, and just shoots a floater up, and it drains right in.
32-23. App State leads by 9. And Breland has the ball. Pass it to Augerson. Augerson drives in the paint, and it is a foul on Addie Beal. And Addie Beal did basically everything she needed to do there. It's just hands were up, feet were planted, but refs saw different. And that will be a shooting 2 for number 2, Augerson.
And Augerson so far on the year shooting 62% from the free throw line. So a little bit below where you'd want it to be.
And Augerson normally gets around 8 to 9 minutes a game, but we'll have a larger role to Southern Miss players getting tweaked in the ankles and legs. And that's the first one in for Augerson, as that'll make the score 32-24, but has a chance to make it 25 for Southern Miss.
And Dan, we got a great uniform matchup today. It's the black and gold from Southern Miss, and then the all whites by the Mountaineers.
If that's not drip, I don't know what is, Will. And that is good on the second one. Makes it 32-25, as Emma Smith will take the ball down the court. Southern Miss with a persistent, tough defense. Emily Heggie has the ball at the top of the key, closely guarded by Thames. Finds Mitchell. And Mitchell finds Smith in the paint, passes it back out to Beal, and no foul called there, which the App State bench believes should be. Emma Smith gets the steal, and that's a foul on Smith. But Smith is kind of confused that they called the foul there, but not the shot attempt from Beal. But App State will have the ball back nonetheless.
Yeah, there could have been 2 fouls on that App State offensive possession. Not only the Beal shot, but also Emma Smith, right before she passed it, got pushed in the back by 2 different defenders.
And back in the game from Southern Miss is Whitney Hart, the redshirt freshman from Southern Miss. And inbounding the ball from App State is Jada McBride.
The foul actually looks like it was on Augerson on Southern Miss, so it's App State's ball.
And another foul, and that'll be on Augerson. And as Emma Smith try to drive in the paint, and the referees saw the foul.
And that's the 5th foul for Southern Miss, so that's going to put them in the bonus.
And Emma Smith will be the one to shoot the free throw as it looks. And Emma Smith this year averaging 8.6 points per game, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds. And that makes her 6 on the game. as the first free throw is good for Emma Smith.
That was an interesting free throw, too. It probably bounced off the rim about 6 to 8 times there before it fell in.
Guns are up, and so is the shot, and it's good. 2 for 2 from the free throw line for Emma Smith. And that's 7 points. 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. Thames has the ball for Southern Miss. Passes that to Sieper, but passes it straight back. Breland has the ball from 3, not shoot it, but passes it to Thames, who decides to shoot it. Hart has the offensive rebound and puts it back up for her first points of the game. And Southern Miss, tight defense again. Bahegi recovers.
Yeah, that's a great shot by Hart on the mismatch. 4 inches taller than McBride and just puts it up.
And that will be a foul on Southern Miss's Whitney Hart. And it looks like that will be a shooting foul. And Addie Beal will have a chance to have another 2.
Well, even with the bonus, any foul now will be 2 shots.
And now Addie Beal in this game has 3 points coming off that and one, and has a chance to get 5. And the first one is up. And it's good for Addie Beal. And Addie Beal is a true freshman, 6'2" from Erie, Pennsylvania. And the second one is good. And Southern Miss has the ball. Taking the ball up is Breland. Breland tightly guarded by Smith. Needs the screen from Hart, but unaffected. Passed it to Jakayla Johnson. Backing down Mitchell. Shoots that mid-range, and it's good. And that'll be 36-29.
Yeah, and that's just Jakayla Johnson doing what Jakayla Johnson does. It is really hard to block her, and we just saw there, completely smothered, still puts it up and drains it.
Emily Heggie drives in the paint, passes it back out, tried to find Beal, but couldn't have the opportunity. Passed it to Mitchell. Beal gets the rebound in the corner. And Beal passes it to Smith, finds Mitchell, and that's a foul on Thames. And that'll be another free throw opportunity for App State. And I believe the past 3 points from App State have been from the free throw line and have the chance to make that 5.
Yeah, and Southern Miss, 7 fouls in the game, and all of them have come in this quarter.
And the Guns are up. And it's no good for Mitchell. And the score is still 36-29, a minute 39 remaining at the foul. And Mitchell's second one goes up, and that's no good. 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And Haley Breland finds Keats. Keats circles around the paint, finds Johnson from 3. Johnson, no good.
And that's a rare miss by Johnson. Wide open 3, about as wide open as it gets, and just a little bit short.
And Mitchell finds Pericic in the corner. Pericic dribbles the ball, but picks it back up, tips the ball, and Pericic thought Southern Miss tipped it off and just let it go out of bounds, but the official saw it different, and is now Southern Miss's ball. And Whitney Hart is subbed out of the game for number 20, Jemiah Evans. And Southern Miss has the ball. Breland for Southern Miss having the ball up the court. Finds Johnson, tightly guarded by Mitchell. Comes off by Addie Beal, and that will be... I'm confused on what that is, I'll be honest. And it's a foul on Addie Beal, and it's a push-off on Addie Beal, but no free throws will be shot. It is a common foul, as App State is not in the bonus yet, I believe.
And we're seeing Jakayla Johnson a little shaken up on that play that she was fouled on. Might have stepped on a foot there and rolled her ankle possibly.
And as Johnson is out of the game, Sun Belt Player of the Week, another loss for Southern Miss. And Breland tries to find an open person. Just chucks it out. And Sieper has the ball. Loses the ball. Finds Breland. Buzz in the paint. Finds Evans in the mid-range. And it's a layup from Breland, and it's good. Emma Smith inbounds the ball, goes to Mitchell. Short time remaining, is less than 35 seconds remaining in the half. Ferial Definite Atla has the ball as she's in the game. Mitchell, top of the key, finds Mitchell, but is too high for Mitchell. It's too high for Smith. And it looks like Mitchell forgot that Emma Smith is 5'7", but people forget about that from Emma Smith, as if you didn't know her height and you saw her stats, you'd think she'd be like 6'2".
Yeah,
Southern Miss has the ball.
Just a little too much sauce on that pass. Goes right into the hands of one of the assistant coaches of Southern Miss there. Great catch by him, though.
And Keats waiting the clock out. 13, 12, 11, and 10 seconds remaining. Finds Breland at the top of the key, guarded by Roman. Goes for the mid-range. It's no good. Evans has the rebound, finds Atla. And 0 for 2 and the short clock remaining, but couple screams from Southern Miss trying to say there's a foul there, but none will be called. And 36-31 at the half.
Yeah, and I kind of like the style of the refs today. They're kind of just letting them have at it and letting them play physical basketball. And it's really nice to see that it's going both ways. Both sides are able to play really physical.
And as App State leads by 5, what has App State done well to have the lead in this half?
The big thing is just play really good defense, and that's what they've been able to do all season long, and that's what they've continued to do. They have been shut down in running this little bit of a zone-man hybrid defense, and it's kind of confusing the Southern Miss team as they're taking some ill-advised shots, and that's why App State has this lead right now.
And looking at the team comparisons, right now, App State has 3 blocks to Southern Miss's 0, but both are tied from steals, both on 3. But very great defensive presence from App State. And on the offensive presence, Jaden McBride has 14 points and is 6 for 6 on the field.
Yeah, Dane, some of the things I'm looking at also, App State has 10 assists, only to 2 for Southern Miss. And then a big thing, the total rebounds. App State with 20 rebounds, only to Southern Miss's 12. And a fun fact that I found while I was studying for this game today and yesterday was that Southern Miss had 598 rebounds, but they also have allowed 598 rebounds. So coming into this game, they were at a dead even interval for rebounds and giving up rebounds.
And App State looks to make that uneven and in a bad way for Southern Miss. And who for Southern Miss have you been surprised by or in their performance in a good or bad way?
For Southern Miss, I have been pleasantly surprised with Haley Breland. She's kind of had to carry this team, some injuries throughout the first 2 quarters for Southern Miss. So it looks like they're going to lean on Haley Breland even more in the second half.
And Jacayla Johnson looked to have a, not like completely out of the question, but kind of limped, but in a light way, kind of like a walk it off type of way. If Jacayla Johnson is out, what does that mean for Southern Miss?
Well, if she is out, that's a big if.
Yes, big if.
It could just be a little sprained ankle, and they're going to throw some tape on it at halftime, and she'll come back out. But if she's out, that's the leading point scorer on this team. That's the Sun Belt Player of the Week. Like, you're losing the key piece to your team. That's like if App State would lose Emma Smith. So that's going to be something to watch for entering the second half on if she comes out of that tunnel and gets onto the court to start that third quarter.
And Southern Miss is a high-scoring team, and App State's defense has done a impeccable job normally at the half for Southern Miss. They're now in the 50 range, and they're 20 points less than that at 31. What does Southern Miss need to do to regain their confidence?
Yeah, and me and my 2 roommates, Bobby Phillips and David Katzenmeyer, were talking about this yesterday while I was doing my research. This was strength on strength. There's perfectly matched, where you had App State's strong defense, and they've been playing great defense all year round, and then Southern Miss insane lights-out offense. So that combination, we see defense usually wins championships, or games, and defense is winning App State the game right now.
Absolutely, and we will go to a break as it is halftime. And the score, as we said, is 36 App State to Southern Miss is 31. Jada McBride leads by points, and Haley Breland leads by points for Southern Miss. And we will see you guys after the break. I'm Dane Maggard here with Will Battershell, as we will have a very interesting half-court game to watch. It is the Unifor Senior Games. So we will get back to you and update you at the start of the second half for App State versus Southern Miss. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU YouTube coverage of App State women's basketball versus Southern Miss. It is 36-31. The second half will start in a couple of minutes, but before then, let's talk about a couple of recaps. What's the thing that Southern Miss is lacking, especially in that first half, Will?
Stopping Jaden McBride. That is what they're lacking. Jaden McBride, 6 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 14 points, just straight out Jaden McBuckets tonight.
Jaden McBuckets. That's what we love to hear. You know what? I got to save that name. I got to remember that. Jaden McBuckets. Let's go. And the tight defense from Emma Smith. Are we just seeing the same old Emma Smith, or is it anything that impresses you from anyone?
This feels like a very normal Emma Smith game where she doesn't have any stats that like stick out at you, but
if you're watching the game,
she's really balling really well. 7 points, very respectable, and with 3 rebounds, 3 assists. So she's doing a little bit of everything for this team, and that's kind of what she's been doing all year long. And not in your usual form that you would see out of a 5'7" guard, but she's a baller. And the second that we signed her last year, I knew that this was going to be one of the best signings that App State made, and she has proved me right.
And with Southern Miss, their shot selection has been pretty meh. It's just them actually making the shot is their problem, as most of their points have came from either just a really quick layup or a three-point shot. And they do shoot the ball quite often. Like you said, Haley Breland shot 5 for 14 last game and only made 5 of them. So what shots should Southern Miss really should go for here, Will?
I'm going to look at them to be aggressive out of the first 5 minutes or so into this third quarter, especially with only shooting 2 for 10 from 3. I wonder if App State's defense will play a little bit more into the box. And even then, Southern Miss is shooting 12 for 31, which is 39% from the field, which isn't awful, but it's not the greatest, especially when your opponent in App State's shooting 52% from the field.
And someone that surprised me this game and is getting more playing time as the year goes on and the more experience she gets, Addie Beal. Addie Beal has made a great defensive presence and offensive presence, as she has been at the line twice now, one with an and one, and one where she made a couple where she has, I believe she has 5 points right now, and making a difference as a freshman, and as one can only hope as the new era of basketball that she stays with App State for her career.
Yeah, I was about to say that. With this transfer portal, you never know, especially as a true freshman. She had to do a lot to get on this team, and she has shown why she worked so hard in the offseason to be where she is today, playing a crucial role off the bench for this Mountaineers team.
Yeah, as you said, she had to do a lot to overcome, as she was first team All-State at Cathedral Prep in Pennsylvania. And as you know, as probably a Pennsylvania resident yourself, that Cathedral Prep is pretty good at basketball. And Southern Miss tries to go up, and that will be out of bounds as App State ball, as Jacayla Johnson trying to argue to the officials that it hit off an App State leg. And McBride has the ball in bounds. And as normal, Emma Smith trying to find an open man, and that's Mitchell. Mitchell goes in, finds Atla in the paint. No good from Atla. Atla gets the rebound, and it goes away from her. Now Johnson finds Keats at the top of the key from teams. And that's no good. Rebounds from Hart. And that's an and one after the offensive rebound. Goes up with the ball.
Yeah, and we talked about right before half about how Johnson hobbled off the court after she looked like she rolled her ankle. She's back on the court, so that's a good sign for Southern Miss.
That's a good thing to see. We never like to see players out of the game. And as we see a person on the bench, Sakai White is on the bench does not look like she'll join the team on the court, but she's on the sideline cheering her team on. And that's what we like to see, that she's not in the locker room just being all grudge out and having high hopes on the bench. And McBride passes it to Smith. Finds Addie Beal across the half-court line. Passes it off to Mitchell. Drives in the paint. Finds Heggie from 3. Step back. And no good after a couple bounces on the rim. Defensive rebound from Southern Miss.
Yeah, just a little too long on the shot. Rattles out of the rim and into the Southern Miss hands.
And Addie Beal gets the block right there. And Mitchell has the ball. A couple dives. And Johnson has the ball with the steal. Mitchell tries, but with a little pump fake layup. And Southern Miss ties the game 36-36 with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And another steal from Southern Miss. Hart drives in the paint, and it's another foul on App State. And not a strong start from App State here, as Southern Miss will have the chance at the free throw line to get their first lead in a hot minute.
Yeah, and App State trying to go a little too fast there, a couple errant passes, and that's what draws Southern Miss right back into the game. And we've kind of seen that plague them in the past, where in that middle half of the game, they just look a little more sloppy, or like they come out of break tired. And we see it right now, so hopefully that's something that Allure Sharp can get her team gathered together and clean up.
And Hart will miss both rebounds. Addie Beal will get that defensive rebound. Passes it to Smith. Smith at the top of the key. Tightly guarded by Johnson. And that is a foul on, looks like it is a defensive foul. I thought it was an illegal screen, but it looks like it is a push-off from Jacayla Johnson.
Yeah, Jacayla Johnson just kind of gets sandwiched between Addie Beal on the block and Emma Smith, and then just kind of throws herself through it.
That is her first foul of the game as McBride inbounds it to Smith. Top of the key, finds McBride in the paint, finds the mid-range, doesn't get it. And Emma Smith regains the ball after a couple tips. Emma Smith drives in the paint, tries to find an open body from McBride, and McBride from 3 is no good.
Her first miss of the day.
McBride is 0 for 2 in this half after a perfect first half. And Thames drives in the paint, finds Hart, and it's out. And rebound from Mitchell.
That was a beautiful pass by Thames to get it through 2 App State defenders and just couldn't get put up by Hart.
And Beal from the midi, and it's good. Little floater action from Beal. And Beal now having 7 points in this game. Keats goes up, finds Teams. Teams tries to foul bait and doesn't get the foul called, as this is college basketball, not NBA, so that will not get called. And Emily Heggie, top of the key, trying to find her open options, find McBride, finds Beal in the midi, working some post magic, does it again with the mid-range and post-game magic. Even though a little height differential, an inch difference from Whitney Hart, still finds it the way to go down in the post.
Yeah, that's what Beal does best.
And Keats shoots the 3, and it's no good. And Beal, defensive rebound. Smith having the ball. Drives in the paint. Trying to find out who's open. And it is a travel on Emma Smith. Emma Smith a little unsure about it, but accepts it nonetheless.
I'd say it's pretty close, but a pretty good call by the refs there. She was kind of caught up in traffic and just hopping on that left foot.
And now in the game is Bracayla Gray for Southern Miss, having some action on the court in this game. Keats for Southern Miss having the ball, passes it to Thames. And Evans, no good from Evans. Smith has the rebound. Smith tightly guarded by Gray. Getting picked up full court. And Smith trying to find her options. Gray finds a little bit of ball action from there. And that will be a foul on Evans, and it'll stay on the court. As it is a push-off. Oh, no, it is a kickball. And it is still App State ball, and Evans will be subbed out.
It looked like it was more of a tripping foul off ball, and Fariel Defne Outlaw is the one that got tripped.
And subbing in is, for the first time, is Anisha Carrier, 6'3" sophomore, and that is a 3 from Pericic.
Elena Periswish really showing us why she's dangerous from beyond the arc.
And that will be a foul on App State, and that will be 2, as that foul, by the looks of it, will be on Fariel Defne Outlaw. And shooting the 2 free throws for Southern Miss is Jacayla Johnson, Sunbelt Player of the Week.
Johnson shooting 76% from the free throw line this season.
And that basket will stop their 3-minute scoring drought. But Southern Miss is 0 for their last 4 in this half. And the second one is good to make it 43-38 with 5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this half.
Yeah, and App State on a 7-2 run in the last 3 minutes or so. Really gaining that momentum after the early 2 turnovers.
And Roman having the ball, passes it to Mitchell. Comes off the screen from Beal. Gets the midi, finds it to Smith from 3. Smith swishes it. And that Smith now has 10 points in this ball game. And Keats having the ball, loses it, passes it to Thames. Thames dribbles it out, trying to find some space. Tries to get Carrier to screen, but says, nope, I'll just do it myself, and that'll airball herself. And this crowd is screaming the airball chant.
Thames very, very frustrated with that shot. Obviously not the shot she wants to take, but with that shot clock winding down, that's about the only option she had.
And coming in the game for Keats is once again Haley Breland. And inbounding the ball, Roman tries to find Beal, and she does. Pass it to Pericic. Tries to steal from Southern Miss. McBride from the corner 3, and it's good. Shoots the gun back at the App State bench and hyping up Pericic.
There must be an archer beyond that arc because it is raining threes for the Mountaineers.
And Jacayla Johnson shoots the layup in, and that'll be a timeout for App State. And it is 49-40. App State has found their groove once again after a rough start. How were they able to come back so easily after that hard and rough first couple minutes there?
Well, a 13-2 run definitely never hurts. And that's why we see the Mountaineers up 11 right now. And it's the back-to-back threes by Emma Smith and Jada McBuckets. And the Mountaineers are on fire right now. A little bit of a heat check, some would say.
And App State having 3 fouls for the third, starting the second half. Do you see the fouls being trouble later on, as fouls on Southern Miss have starting to become more extravagant?
The only person I think is interesting to watch right now is Fariel Defne Outlaw, because she has 4 fouls, 1 more and she's out of the game. So I'm expecting to probably see her in limited numbers for the rest of the game. So that means we'll see more Pericic and Addie Beal, just because you want Fariel Defne Outlaw for the end of the game to be that real difference in the paint.
And speaking of Fariel Defne Outlaw, we haven't really seen a lot of her really at all, other than a little bit of a couple rebounds. But I believe she's 0 for 2 in her last field goal attempt. She hasn't outscored once this entire game. Are you surprised by that at all?
I mean, yeah, it sucks that she hasn't scored, but there's a lot of things that she's doing right that won't show up on the stats board, and that's why she's playing so much. She plays such physical defense that she is forcing tough shots that are missed, and she's just being a menace in the paint. All three of our bigs have been playing fantastic in the paint so far, and that's a big reason why App State has the 9-point lead.
And a player that we've talked about a little bit, Addie Beal. Can you talk about just her impact on the game right now?
Yeah, Addie Beal, 9 points. Third on the team in scoring, 1 point behind Emma Smith. 3 for 3 from the free throw line, which you always love somebody that's perfect from the free throw line. And her stat line also doesn't show it that much. She has 4 rebounds, but she has forced so many errant shots that have forced turnovers that have allowed App State to run up the court and get more points.
And the 2 scorers for Southern Miss is, of course, Jacayla Johnson, who's found her way back into the game in this second half. But one player that was leading the first half, Haley Breland. She is now 3 for 11 after her decent first half and hasn't really had much success. Can you talk about why that is?
App State has played a lot more tough defense, and you've seen Breland a couple times now drive it in on Addie Beal, just trying to draw that foul. And Addie Beal has been able to really be that rock in the paint to where it's like she's running into a brick wall instead of trying to sell that foul.
Exactly, and 4 minutes and 37 seconds remaining, 49-40. App State leads by 9, and App State will have the ball again. Inbounding the ball will be number 3, Issa Roman, who's had 3 points, 1 attempt, and 1 make. Roman giving the ball up. Passes it to Smith at the top of the key. Tightly guarded by Gray. Passes it to Pericic. Pericic tried to find McBride in the corner, but McBride just shook her off, saying, nope, not yet. Roman in the mid-range. Tips it back out to Heggie. Heggie goes in the paint. McBride shoots the 3, and McBride drains it. I don't think I heard a clink of metal there. That was all net.
She has her takeover activated right now, and she just cannot miss. Jaden McBuckets is on fire.
Hall of Fame, limited 3. And Johnson in the paint scores the 2. That'll make it 52-42. As Johnson will have 15 points in this game, the second leading scorer in the entire game. And Heggie taking the ball up past the court, closely guarded by Gray. Looks like Southern Miss playing a zone defense. Pericic being found in the paint, tries to shoot it, and that's no good, but a foul will be called on number 32, Tamia Thurman.
Yeah, and Elena Pericic right there looked like prime Calvin Johnson, splitting 2 blocks and catching the ball between them and still finding a way to get the ball up.
And a timeout will be called, or it looks like a challenge possibly. But it looks like a little bit of a timeout here. It is a media timeout, as we will take a little bit of a break as Jaden McBride is balling out. Jaden McBuckets, Emma Smith, Elena Paris-Swish are all having great days. But we will see you in the next couple of minutes after this media timeout. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned. Welcome back to WASU Sports YouTube channel. Coverage of App State women's basketball versus the University of Southern Miss. The score is 52-42, and App State's Elena Paraswish has the chance to make it 11, and she does. 53-42.
She swishes it.
And Pericic, second one is up, and it's good. Paraswish. Make it 52-42, 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Jacayla Johnson has the ball. Thurman, top of the key. Thurman tries to find in the paint, and it says out of bounds on Elena Pericic, and Southern Miss will have the ball. And Thurman will be subbed out by redshirt freshman Whitney Hart. And inbounding the ball, Southern Miss. Trying to find an open man. App State doing a great job, and that's a 5-second violation for Southern Miss, and that's a turnover for Haley Breland. And App State now has the ball.
Yeah, that's a good job by App State, just playing lockdown defense there, not allowing the inbound and putting the ball back in their possession.
McBride has the ball. Finds Smith. Passes it to Heggie. Finds Mitchell. Mitchell in the corner. Gets to Smith, who's on the wing. Dribbles to the top of the key. Passes out to McBride. In the corner, finds Pericic, but decides not to shoot it. Finds Mitchell. Mitchell drives in the paint. Passes it out to McBride for three. McBride once again from three.
Yeah, Jalen McBuckets has this place going crazy right now. She cannot miss from three. 5 for 6 on this game. 23 points.
After being 0 for 2 at the start of the half, she has recovered in amazing fashion. 3 after 3 after 3. And Southern Miss has the ball. App State leads 57-42.
Dane, this is not at all what I would have expected out of this game. With such a high-powered offense that Southern Miss has, they just are kind of floundering a little bit.
And in the corners, Johnson from Southern Miss drives in the paint. Pericic gets the block. And that is a foul on App State. I'm surprised. And that is a foul on Addie Beal, as they both came down from the rebound, and they will call the foul on Addie Beal, and it'll be Southern Miss ball.
Yeah, that's an interesting foul there, as both Addie Beal and the defender were both falling down as she just kind of pushed the ball out, so that's an interesting call.
Another interesting call from the bench as Issa Roman subs in for Addie Beal. A guard subbing in for a forward. And a little bit of confusion on the court as App State is in the bonus. And it is a free throw, and shooting the free throw is Whitney Hart. Making noise in Holmes Convocation Center. The first one is good.
I do like the use of Issa Ramon a little bit more because she hasn't been used much this year, but she's showing today that she can be as physical as everybody else. She's even have some points on the board. She made a 3 earlier in the game with 2 rebounds. So a little bit of just a key under-the-radar player for the Mountaineers.
And Southern Miss gets the steal. Gray has the ball for a fast break and goes to the line. And Southern Miss has another opportunity for free throws, and I'm seeing a lot of what we saw the first couple minutes straight out of the half.
Yeah, and just as I was saying it, that foul was on Ramon.
And shooting the ball for the free throws right now is Bracayla Gray. Gray has 4 points, now 5 after that first made free throw. That'll make it 57-45. App State leading by 12. Now 11 as the second one is good from Bracayla Gray. Smith inbounds the ball, and Bracayla Gray immediately goes back on defense. And another turnover from App State. And head coach is not Head coach Alora Sharp is surprised that no charge was on there, and another shooting foul, making it 57-48 with 2 minutes remaining as App State will call a foul. And Southern Miss is on a 6-0 run in the last 19 seconds.
Yeah, and this game is a game of runs, and that's all we've been seeing. App State's been able to go on a large run, then Southern Miss is able to answer and come back and go on the run of their own. But even with this run, when App State's able to get down the court, they're 7 for 7 in their last field goals.
And tight defense from Southern Miss the entire game. App State has been picked up full court. And we've seen that as a trend as a way to stop App State's offense throughout the season. At least every game that I have covered here at 90.5, every defense from the opposing team has been picked up full court.
That's a bigger, more common thing now, especially in Sun Belt play where almost every team will go full court. But not only that, you see it in pretty much all of women's basketball now.
And App State gets the ball down the court, 57-48, a minute 50 remaining in this third quarter. McBride has the ball, passes it to Roman. Emma Smith with the three. No good from Smith from three. Southern Miss gets the rebound. Johnson drives in the paint. And Gray has the ball, passes it back out to Teams. And it's good from three for Southern Miss. Southern Miss is back within 10.
Yeah, Thames was 0 for 3 before that shot. Finally gets one up to go for 1 for 5 on the day.
App State only leads by 6, 57-51. 9-0 run in the last minute for Southern Miss. Roman, corner three, and that's good. That's a little bit off the bank, little Timmy D action. And that'll make it 60-51. Johnson from three, no good from Southern Miss. McBride gets the rebound.
Issa Roman has only shot twice today, and she is 2 for 2 from three.
Emma Smith just sitting down. Just sit. Alora Sharp just saying to sit a minute. Heggie off the screen. Pericic off the screen. Finds Heggie. Heggie, little bit of dribble action. Finds in the paint, but Pericic was wide open and a little confused why Heggie didn't pass it to her. And Keats finds Johnson. And rebound from App State. Southern Miss trying to find that foul call, but it's not called. Heggie just kind of said, yep, that didn't get called.
That was more of two Southern Miss players running into each other than an App State player running into a Southern Miss player.
Heggie coming off the screen from Pericic, and she loses the ball. Another turnover from Emma Smith. And Johnson, in the final seconds after the steal, gets the buckets to make it 60-53 after the third quarter. App State leads by 8, but those last couple minutes was not great for App State, even though they're winning by 8 right now. Can you just talk about those last couple minutes and what App State needs to do better to recover?
Yeah, App State with 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And we kind of saw that at the beginning of the third, now the end of the third, where it was a little bit of sloppy basketball. So Sharp's got to kind of wrangle her team together and clean it up a little bit, because if you can lower those turnovers, we saw how strong this App State offense and defense have been. So they are in the driver's seat. They just need to clean up these little mistakes.
As App is in the driver's seat, Emma Smith has 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. But at 4 assists, she has 5 turnovers. If you're a Laura Sharp, do you keep Emma Smith with how many minutes she's playing, or do you let someone else like Issa Roman take the ball up?
No, you let her stay on the court. She's making turnovers because of how hard they're pressing her. They're double teaming her every time she gets the inbound. She is being pushed the hardest out of any player on this court. So you should expect some more turnovers from the person that's being pushed the hardest.
And we saw a little bit of chemistry problem, especially from Emily Hagee and Pericic. Pericic was wide open, and Hagee just literally dribbled right past an open man, and she was still open after dribbling after, and decides to pass to Jada McBride, who was double teamed instead of going to Pericic. Do you think that's going to have problems in this fourth quarter?
I don't, because Allure Sharp has these certain play designs that are drawn up. And that was clearly drawn up to have Jaden McBride try to get open underneath the paint just for an easy layup. And that's kind of what they went for, but the Southern Miss defense just read it well. So sometimes your plays are just read a little bit well, and maybe a little bit on Heggie to not improvise a little bit and hit the open person that was in the corner. But you live and you learn.
And the rebounds we talked about a little bit when we went to halftime, but App State has a total of 30 rebounds compared to Southern Miss's 18. Is that a big reason why App State is leading by 8 even while having so many turnovers?
I think another reason is rebounds are always huge, getting that ball back into your possession. But the points off the bench, 22 points off App State's bench compared to 17 for Southern Miss. And that's almost the score difference right now. So the bench coming in and playing a huge role for the Mountaineers.
And the the end of the third quarter has ended. And now the start of the fourth quarter will start at any minute. App State leads 60-53. Leading score for App State, of course, is Jaden McBride with 23. She is 9 for 11 and 5 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, and Jaden McBride looking a lot like her sister, Kayla McBride, that's in the WNBA right now, just hitting everything.
And App State will have the ball to start out the fourth quarter. And Emma Smith still in the game for that defensive presence and ball handling. Emma Smith get past the half-court line. Finds Beal. Beal hands it off to McBride. McBride is in the midi. Finds Mitchell. Tells Mitchell to go to Jada Burton, who's in the game for the first time this entire game, I believe. And McBride finds Mitchell. Mitchell shoots the three, and it's good. And that is 63-53. App State has a 10-point lead once again, and Southern Miss is looking to shorten that. And Carly Keats in the game for Southern Miss.
And App State shooting 12 for 21 from the threes, but it feels like every time we watch them shoot a three, they're just dropping it in.
And Thames has the ball, shoots three, no good. Emma Smith has the rebound, absolute hustle.
And with that rebound, Emma Smith is 3 rebounds away from having a double-double today.
Emma Smith passes it to Beal from 3. Beal doesn't shoot the 3. Pump fakes it and goes in the lane for a quick 2. And wow, what happened there? And a turnover for Southern Miss. And they're going to say, I need to find out what that happened there. And Carly Keats, it's a turn 2 from Carly Keats. As it looks like Carly Keats inbounded it and she might have stepped out of bounds. But App State has the ball.
It's going to be whatever team makes the least mistakes this quarter that is going to be able to come away with the win. And we're already seeing Southern Miss kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
Mitchell finds Beal at 3. Beal hands it off to Heggie. Heggie finds Burton from 3. Burton tightly guarded by Keats. Passes it to Mitchell, the top of the key. Mitchell decides to say, shoot it, and it's no good. Rebound by Keats. Keats hands it off to Breland. Breland, fine teams. Team shoots the midi. Off the glass, no good. Rebound from the redshirt freshman, and another foul from Whitney Hart. Whitney Hart will go to the free throw line again. And from Whitney Hart, we've seen a lot of her in the post, but none of the shots she really has made is mostly just been fouls.
Yeah, which, I mean, when you're a big body frame at 6'3", then you're going to get fouled a little bit more often because it's harder to defend, especially with Fariel definitely Outlaw on the bench with 4 fouls right now. Everybody's at a slight disadvantage when Hart's on the field. Or court, excuse me.
And Whitney Hart is 4 for 6 from the free throw line today. Now 5 for 7. And checking in for for Jada Burton already out of the game is Emily Hagee. Oh, no, it's Issa Roman. Hagee brings the ball down. Hagee brings the ball up. Closely guarded by Breland. Trying to find an open man. Communicates to her team. Pericic in the midi. And no one's in the corner. But little mistake there. Thought someone was in the corner, but wasn't. Little miscommunication.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication there. It looks like Issa Roman was supposed to be a little bit farther to her left, but instead playing like that mid-arch area, and the ball just gets sailed out of bounds into the donors bench.
And Emma Smith subbing in after about 30 seconds of game time on the bench. And Jakayla Johnson drives in the paint, guarded by Mitchell. And another foul from App State at the start of the fourth quarter. 7 minutes and 43 seconds in the fourth quarter. App State already has 2 fouls. In a game like this where Southern Miss needs every single point they can get, you really don't want to get in this bonus, Will.
Yeah, and Deja Mitchell now has to be careful with 4 fouls on the game. So 1 more from fouling out.
And Mitchell is being fouled out as they try to conserve. And Jaden McBride is subbed in the game.
They also have to be careful with Addie Beal, too. She has 3 fouls currently. So a couple Mountaineers that are on the edge of foul trouble.
And both free throws are good from Southern Miss, 65-57. McBride brings the ball up the court, trying to find Smith, and she does. Smith bringing the ball up. Closely guarded. Southern Miss not letting an inch of Smith happen. Pericic at the 3 in the wing. Passes it to Beal at the top of the key. Beal trying to find open shots. Hands it off to Pericic, and she does. Passes it to Beal. Beal decides not to shoot that 3. The bench desperately wants her to. And pass it off to Emma Smith, who drives it in the paint. And that's jelly on a peanut butter sandwich. That's good.
Yeah, Emma Smith is just so good when she has that lane to drive in.
And tries to go for another foul is Jakayla Johnson, but doesn't get it. App State will have the ball. Brings it across half court is Emma Smith. Comes off the screen from Pericic. Laura Sharp screaming at Issa Roman to circle around. Beal shoots the 3, almost gets it. The bench is happy that she even shot it. And Keats from 3. And that's an air ball. And the time is 6 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in this game. Emma Smith brings the ball up, closely guarded by Johnson. Comes off the screen from Beal in the paint. Will she shoot it? Nope. Passes it to Roman in the corner. Roman doesn't get it as that's an air ball. Back-to-back air balls on both offensive possessions. And subbing in for Pericic is Emily Hagee. And subbing in is Morgan Sieper and Breland from Southern Miss, as App State leads 67-57.
Yeah, App State also brings in Riley Stoker for the second time this game. She saw a few minutes in that first quarter.
And Southern Miss has the ball. Breland, closely guarded by Smith, finds Johnson. And it was in the game, Riley Stoker, as Johnson makes the layup. Riley Stoker, the true freshman in the game for App State in the fourth quarter. Emily Hagee brings the ball down. Hagee trying to find an open option, kind of getting frustrated, I can see. Stoker has the ball, finds Beal in the mid-range. Beal drives in, tries to get the foul and doesn't get called. And the foul, I believe, is an offensive foul. And it is. It is an offensive foul. That'll be Southern Miss's possession now. And if you look at this Southern Miss bench, you can see a lot of the players frustrated who are sitting down, who are just in the game. One of those being Carly Keats, most frustrated out of all, has a towel in her face. In the ball right now, Breland passes it off to Johnson. Comes off the screen from Evans. Tries to find in the paint is Gray. Gray doesn't get the ball. McBride strips the ball and is now a jump ball as McBride swipes the ball away as the shot attempt was happening, and they just dive on a pyramid.
Yeah, and Zoe McCrary is now in the game for the Mountaineers as two of their bigs are in foul trouble. Both Fariel Defne Atla and Addie Beal with 4 fouls. So we're going to see a lot more McCrary, and we're going to see a lot of Pericic.
McCrary doesn't play that often, but when she does, she makes an impact when she's on the court.
Fantastic defender in the paint.
And that's exactly what this App State women's team needs to stop Southern Miss's possibility of a comeback. Breland shoots the corner 3 and is no good. McBride gets the defensive rebound, passes it to Smith, closely guarded by Gray, passes it to Heggie. Heggie trying to find her open options. Passes it to Stoker. Stoker trying to find what to do. Just in the corner, trying to find an open man. Finds McCrary. McCrary passes it back to Stoker. And Stoker has her first points of the game, making it 69-59.
And this is really just showing that anybody can come off this Mountaineers bench and put some buckets in.
And Breland tries to lay up the ball and misses. Heggie has the ball. Heggie passes it to Smith. Closely guarded by Breland. Smith trying to get everyone on the same page, but Breland trying to say, nope, I'm on. You need to do something now. Smith just dribbling back and forth, trying to get something to happen, and they're going to call a reach-in foul on Haley Breland. In a couple substitutions will go in the game. One of them for App State being Issa Roman, and the other for Southern Miss is Melanie Thames. And it looks like a timeout will happen right now, and it'll be a media timeout. 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in this game as App State leads by 10, 69-49. Make sure to stay tuned as we will go to a little bit of a break here on 90.5 WASU. So stay tuned, and we have more action coming your way in this tight game. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU YouTube coverage of App State women's basketball versus Southern Miss. My name is Dane Maggard, here with my color commentator, Will Battershell. And App State leads 69-59, 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining. App State will have this offensive possession out of the media timeout. McBride will try to find someone open, and that's Smith. Smith at the top of the key. Closely guarded by Johnson. Finds Roman. Pass it back out to Smith. McBride. Shot clock being tough. Mid-range. And that's no good. Emma Smith has the rebound. Finds McCrary. McBride. Top of the key. 3, and that's good.
There was nobody from here to North Wilkesboro in the area of Jaden McBride, as she has a wide open slot to hit the 3.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. And it looks like a timeout will happen as there is wetness on the court as they would try to get someone to mop it up. And we'll try, as that gets situated, a current trend that's happening with Southern Miss right now is their scoring drought. They haven't scored in the last 2 minutes, Will.
Yeah, it has been a very rough 2 minutes for the Golden Eagles, and the scoreboard shows it 72-59, and the Mountaineers look like they may be starting to run away with this thing.
And Jaden McBride has the chance in this game to have a 30 bomb.
By far exceeded her season or her game high in points made, which was originally set on December 20th against Georgia Southern, where she scored 16.
And even in 30 minutes, 26 points. I'm sure her older sister can do some talking in the WNBA and get her some scoutage. Any team would love to have this type of possession every night.
I'm sure Kayla has a huge smile on her face right now watching her little sister go absolutely nuclear today here at the Holmes Convocation Center.
And going 6 for 7 from the 3 field goal range, being absolutely accurate from the 3-point line.
Dane, the one thing to really look at right here, Emma Smith is 1 rebound away from a double-double.
Ooh, that's Emma Smith. She's mean, man. Emma Smith is a mean girl. She may be 5'7", and yes, she may be from Vestavia Hills, Alabama, in the suburbs, but she knows how to ball and truly work for her position on any roster. And as the stoppage will continue, as the referee points out that there's a wet spot, and the towel man is here with some towels fixing it up as Southern Miss is waiting. But in the game for Southern Miss is number 12, Morgan Sieper, who's only played about 15 games this year, averaging about 5 points, along with Bracayla Gray, Whitney Hart, and Haley Breland, along with Melanie Thames. And Melanie Thames have the ball, drives in the paint. Not much defense there, but not much needed as it circles around.
So App State with 72 points right now would be the average that Southern Miss allows in a normal game.
Having the ball top of the key, Emma Smith, closely guarded by Breland. If Southern Miss wants to get back in this game, it's going to have to happen now. Emma Smith trying to find an open man. Finds Roman, top of the key. Shot clock expires, and didn't know how much exactly was on. She was kind of locked in, but Emily Heggie from the sideline saying that it's good, it happens. Go to the next one and focus on defense now. And Breland has the ball, guarded by Smith. Breland passes it out to Thames. Thames says nope, shoots it, and Riley Stoker gets the rebound. Stoker has the ball. Pass it back out to Smith. Smith bringing the ball up. Pass it back out to Stoker. Stoker pass out to Smith. Smith trying to find some open options, but also just trying to waste some time here. Roman has the ball. 5 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Something's going to need to happen. And McBride, no good, but McCrary gets the rebound, puts it back up. Stoker gets the rebound, pass it back out to Smith. Great hustle and effort from the bench. Smith has the ball at the logo, closely guarded by Gray, gets double teamed, goes in the paint, tries to find someone open, and it's no good, and tries to pass it to McCrary, but it tips a Southern Miss player, that's Whitney Hart, and goes out of bounds, and App State will have another chance for an offensive possession, but 3 seconds remaining.
And Dane, they counted that rebound as Emma Smith's rebound, so that does put her at the double-double with 12 points, 10 rebounds.
And Emma Smith gets the drain three with limited time on the shot clock.
Make that 15 points, 10 rebounds.
And Emma Smith with a double-double on the night. And Breland has the mid-range. It's no good. And that will be a box-out foul on McCrary, saying that's an illegal box-out. And that will stay on the court and stay Southern Miss's ball. And Southern Miss will take this time to have a timeout. And a minute and 46 seconds remaining in this time, 75-59. Southern Miss is going to have as much time as they want to have as many offensive possessions as they can, but that last App State possession was detrimental to their hopes of getting back in this game.
Yeah, and Dane, the last time that this Golden Eagles team was down this big late in a game was against Mississippi State December 14th. So it's been a while that this Golden Eagle team has had to have faced this type of adversity.
And looks like they're going to have some nostalgia tonight. In the back time. And inbounding in the game will start back up. A minute 46 remaining. App State leading 75-59. Immediately shoots the ball. McCrary and Riley Stoker has the rebound, and it's a jump ball, and that's App State's ball.
Yeah, and we're seeing some people that really haven't played for the Mountaineers much this season make an impact today. And in such a big game where you're on a losing skid of losing 5 of your last 6, this is huge for the Mountaineers.
And McBride bringing the ball up, finds wide open Stoker. And Stoker 2 for 2 on the day. Bringing the ball up is Breland for Southern Miss. Breland brings the ball up fast. And that's a charge! Punching the chest of McCrary. Actually, no, that's Deja Mitchell. Deja Mitchell finally gets that charge she was hoping for all night.
Yeah, and that's a hard charge foul. Deja Mitchell fell really hard. I was unsure for a second if she was going to get up because she's kind of laid there for a second, but it's good to see her up and back and staying in the game.
And App State has another possession in the crunch time, making this lead as wide as it can be. Can't be too short.
They're 2 points away, Dane, from making this a 20-point game.
And Emma Smith has the ball right now, being double teamed, finding wide open Issa Roman, finds Stoker in the corner, takes the humble approach and decides to waste time. Good ball IQ from the true freshman. And the time will come to a short as a minute and 10 seconds remaining. It is still App State ball right now, 77-59. And if you were Laura Sharp right now, with this wide of a lead, do you take Emma Smith out, or is her defensive presence still needed in these final minutes?
I think her ability just to bring the ball down court is needed, no matter what.
And Emma Smith being double teamed by Sieper and Gray. And it'll be a foul on Southern Miss. And Southern Miss is not in the bonus quite yet. So it will not be a shooting foul. And it will still 77-59, a minute and 5 seconds remaining. App State just trying to waste as much time on the clock as possible. Finds Mitchell, finds Ramon wide open, and gets the and one with the foul bait. The foul bait on Breland. Waited for her. And that'll get Roman the chance to have a couple more points on the night.
Yeah, Isa Ramon really is showing why she should be played more. She really hasn't been played much at all this year, but Allura Sharp really trying something new on this team and really showing that all these women on this team are capable of coming in and playing elite basketball.
And it's up, and it's no good for the and one. Emma Smith gets the rebound and puts it back up. Shares a smile with the bench. Makes it 81-59 on the lead. Less than a minute remaining in this game. Shoots the three and says nope. McCrary back in the game, hits the rebound, and that's a foul on Southern Miss. It looks like that foul will be on Melanie Thames. And it'll be a push-off, and it'll be another App State possession. 45 seconds remaining in this game, 81-59.
And that puts App State in the bonus now. So any time that Southern Miss fouls them, it's going to be 2 free throws at the line.
And we see a lot of frustration coming from this Southern Miss team. Just putting their hands in the air.
And Dane, the Southern Miss team, second in the Sun Belt in points per game with 80.3 points. They have less than 60 as we sit right now with 45 seconds left.
And App State coming from a tough loss last game. What does this almost basically a blowout game mean to this chemistry of this team?
I mean, just in the stretch that they had towards the mid to end December to now of just the losses that they take, this is huge to build momentum towards the rest of the season.
And with a team like Southern Miss in conference play, this win will be huge to the end of the season.
The first conference win for the Mountaineers this season.
And Emma Smith has the ball. Has McCrary. McCrary just trying to find Smith. And Smith just stays and tries to waste as much time as she can. Southern Miss still trying to keep some tight defense in. 16 seconds remaining. Smith just trying to keep the ball in. McCrary just chilling, telling her to put the ball up, get some points for yourself. 10 seconds remaining. And with 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And well, never mind. 0.3 seconds remaining in this game. As App State 82-59. 0.3 seconds are remaining. And it's official. App State beats Southern Miss in conference play in a huge win, 82-59. The last time App State scored 80-plus points as a team was against the blowout against Carolina University in an 81-32 win. And with this 82-59 win, what does this tight rivalry game mean win for App State?
Well, this equals out the all-time record against Southern Miss at 2-2 now. App State has won the last 2 versus them, their last win being December 4th of last year. And this fourth quarter just shows how good this App State team is. 22-6, outscoring the Golden Eagles.
And does App State just have Southern Miss's number, or is just this App State team just getting better and better on the day?
I really think defense wins the games, and we saw how well this App State defense played. They absolutely clamped and just squeezed the life out of Southern Miss, and that's what held them to only 59 points.
And thank you so much for tuning in to 90.5 WASU YouTube of App State women's basketball versus Southern Miss. I'm your play-by-play Great Dane Maggard, here with Will Battershell, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening in. And make sure to listen in on the next women's basketball broadcast, which will be January 29th with me and Dylan Shepard. I'll see you guys next time here on